we don't always bring up this aspect of it, but your life, it's like the whole food thing. Your life is a whole food. It is a whole, complete, like what they say with like the whole child approach. Like you can't just go at it from maybe one avenue, but your health is your well-being. It's how you show up in your life. It's how you feel, and how you feel translates into how you act and how you think. Well, how you think controls your life. Yes, if you eat exactly how we're talking about, and you get exercise, and your system and your machine will be better equipped to be able to handle all of the stuff that is life. If I do all of those things and we still have terrible communication, is my life going to be top notch? No, I still have that problem. But think of like when you're sick, which most of us are low dose sick all the time. If I'm sick, or when you're sick, are you as apt or as inspired or as excited to work on the shitty communication that you have with your person? It's like, no, you're just trying to survive and get through the day, or to get feeling better. But if I am feeling awesome, I'm going to be maybe less annoyed with it, or I'm going to come into it with more of an accountability of, okay, well, I could do this and I can make myself feel better, and I have the control over that. I probably have the control to make this situation of the communication better, or at least have the possibility of working on it. If your machine is healthier, you're going to be able to think better. You're going to be able to act better, which is going to make your life better. Yes, life still life, and it does the things, and it's hard sometimes, and the things that you have to deal with are just terrible. But that is also still something that you have to work on. It's like what we said with the bringing it back in house and taking the accountability. You can't take a pill and have a better relationship with your kids. You can't take a pill and figure out what you want to do for a career. You can't take a pill and make all the money that you need. That's stuff that as the human you have to do. So you need to make the human as sufficient and effective and able to be able to handle the things that you can't get a pill for. Yeah. And if it was as simple as take a pill and all your problems would be fixed, okay, but I have yet to meet anyone that has depression, has anxiety, has ADHD, has the relationships around them having issues, that is doing the stuff first. If you were not overstimulated, if you were not eating healthy, if you were not focusing on the whole approach, it's like I said, then I would maybe go, okay, maybe, yeah, then you need some other assistance. But you got to do that other stuff too. Like, no one has been doing that first and then talking about it.
Right. Yeah.
That I personally know.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. I think there's going to be people that are extremely unhealthy and don't do all of the things that we're talking about, and they're depressed, and they maybe take an antidepressant, and that helps them and gives them the availability to then go do the other things. I think
100%. Yes.
Those
100%.
people for sure exist.
100%.
But for the vast majority of people, that's not the situation. They get on the antidepressant and then nothing changes. So, and again, going back to that Dr. Mike talking about the metformin with A1C, the diabetes medication, these things only move the needle a little bit to where the things that we're talking about move them more than anything, because that is the basis of life, is eating whole natural foods and exercise and sleep. That is going to take care of 90% of your health issues. Now, when we're talking about emotional health, bad relationships, or you're stressed at your job and that sort of thing, sure, they may not directly correlate and affect those things, eating healthy, exercise, whatever, it's probably going to help in some instance. But like you said, if you have a bad relationship with your significant other, you can't just go, well, I'll just start eating healthy and work out and that's going to fix everything. No, it might make you a little bit more prepared and apt to be able to handle that situation because your hormones are working better, your neural pathways are working better because you're fueling the body with the nutrition that it needs, and you're having regulated dopamine and cortisol levels and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that can play a huge role.
A huge role.
But it doesn't. I guess I don't think we're saying just do
your
this.
life is going to be perfect if you eat healthy and exercise.
Right.
No.
When it comes to like you don't like your job or you're stressed at your job or you have bad relationships with people, like you could be the healthiest person and still be a dick and not have anybody that wants to be around you. That's just you being a bad communicator and whatever. But when we're talking about the majority of people that have all these health issues and they just continuously want to go to a pill or go to the doctor to get something solved, it's like the problem, I don't know, the problem isn't you have a lack of a pill that's helping you. The problem is you don't eat healthy and you don't exercise and you don't sleep well because of that. It's like there's the direct correlations of like people being unhealthy and then they have sleep apnea because of that. And now they can't sleep well. It's like these things are affecting the three main movers. If you change that and fix that, everything else becomes better. It's that radiation effect. Everything in your life gets a little bit better. You get a little bit more capable to do the thing. And this was the big issue when COVID came too. Everybody wanted the vaccine to solve everything and change everything. But instead, people were dramatically affected because their health sucked. But we don't want to look at that. We don't want to pay attention to that. We don't want to even say that because for some reason that's emotional and triggering to people. It's like your health sucked. That's why COVID was affected to you. If you were a healthy person, COVID didn't do anything to you. And there's going to be the exceptions to the rule. Well, I knew this guy that was the healthiest person ever and blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's always exceptions. But when we're talking about the vast majority of people, we have a health issue in our country. And that's why COVID had such an effect on it. And then instead of going, hey, we need to get healthier as a country so that these things don't affect us as much, we go, you have to go get a vaccine to solve all your problems. And then it comes out that those vaccines didn't do what everybody was saying they were going to do. It's like you're just being lied to all the time by these pharmaceutical companies. When are you going to see it? It bugs me so much. I don't know. This is turning into my old solo podcast from 2 years ago. It's like
everyone misses.
It's like, stop being so freaking emotional. Be logical. You want to be emotionally comforted rather than let's use logic to do that so that you become healthier. Like you actually get what you want out of this thing. You're constantly taking the, I don't know. It's like they always talk about the like being red pilled or whatever, the Matrix thing. Do you want to see the truth and the reality of stuff, or do you want to continue to be lied to and not know what's going on? And I just, when it comes to this health stuff, it's so simple, but that's not good enough for anybody.
No, and that's where I think going back to the taking accountability and blaming yourself and why that's just an easier approach, I think, to life. It's like, yeah, okay, I could be pissed that they put corn syrup in my honey and they, on the ingredients, say it's 100% pure honey. I could be pissed at that. Or I could go, yeah, but as a consumer, I've allowed a version of this to keep happening. Like I have shown the people that are profiting off of me, that's okay because I'll also buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting them to be good people. I'm expecting them to want my money. So whatever way they can get more of my money, as in making their product cheaper and accessible and quicker to put on the shelf, of course they're going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that's good enough for me, because I'll buy it.
Well, and this is where there's the disconnect. These companies are in the business of making money. The consumer is in the business of trying to be healthy or trying to get food or whatever it might be. I think for the people that listen to the podcast are probably more like, how do I be healthier? So I use that example of like, we're trying to get healthier. Companies are trying to get more money. See how we don't have the same goal?
Mm-hmm.
Like the consumer and the person and the company do not have the same goal in mind. So they're going to do whatever they can to get money, and you're trying to do whatever you can to become healthier. So they're going to lie. Like that's the whole thing. So you have to be smarter than the company and then pick the things that are actually going to make you healthier.
Yeah.
It's the thing that we say all the time of there's no company trying to sell you apples, trying to sell you vegetables, whole natural foods. And if they are, there's probably something funky with it. So these companies that are trying to sell you something are trying to get you to believe in what they're doing. And are you going to be somebody that just falls into that belief of, well, they said it's keto, so it must be great for me? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to be going, well, no, just because it says keto doesn't mean, oh, I actually turn around. There's 15 grams of carbohydrates in this. This is not keto. Like, what is going on? It's like you have to take accountability. You have to be responsible for your own choices. And then you have to also, I think, have this general natural idea or belief in like what being healthier or getting healthier is. And I think we have a very large disconnect of what we think that is right now. Right now we think it's very drug-based, doctor-based, medical system-based, and it's not. It's like farmer-based. It's whole natural foods, stuff that's not being sold to us and pushed on us all the time. And I think a clear indicator of that is, what do we spend the most money on? The medical system. So who's winning?
Yeah.
Like clearly they are. They continue to take your money over and over and over again, and you get no results over and over and over again.
Are we getting healthier?
No.
Are we?
We're getting less healthy. That's my whole point, is I don't understand this. We continue to get more and more unhealthy, but believe more and more in these pharmaceutical companies and like healthcare shit.
Yeah.
And we're getting more unhealthy. It's like the less money they made, the more healthy we were. The more money they make, the more unhealthy we are. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Who was it that had that? One comedian had a joke. I think it was Bill Burr. It's like, eat a freaking salad and go for a walk. Like, Jesus Christ, you want to get healthy? And there's truth to that. It's like, it's not complicated.
Yeah, who said that? Because they were like, just eat one. Just eat one salad.
Yeah. It's not complicated. I think there's these little trickery things like with the rice and the honey that we talked about, but in general, it's not always that way.
Sure. Well,
and you're not going to be super unhealthy by eating some white rice every now and then. If you're eating gallons of it a week, yeah, you're going to get...
Right. Where most people are starting at, you making those adjustments are going to dramatically change things. It's like, it's when you're at the top tier of that where, yeah, you need to be a little bit more specific and picky to get those extra little notches. But where most people are starting at, yeah, you going and eating white rice with some
chicken
other
and broccoli,
whole vegetables and a whole protein source.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. 100% you're going to be fine.